So in this video, we're going to talk about this concept that Jalen Brunson is too small to lead his team to the championship. I'm going to show why that's cap, right? We definitely got an action-packed show. Stay tuned and watch this video. Welcome to the channel. I am the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes. Yeah, man, you rocking with the best. Let's get some crowd noise in here. Yes, sir. Represent. And also, while you're here,
don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel.
Definitely. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man. We got an action-packed show. As you can see from the image I got next to me here, Candace Parker actually pulled up on Jalen Brunson, and I honestly wonder what was said. I wonder what was said. There's been a lot of talk, people coming for Jalen Brunson's neck. And let me tell you something. I heard one of the interviews he did during All-Star Week. I can't remember which network. So many networks. I didn't watch everything, but I watched a lot of the events. I pretty much watched most of the events, including Saturday night, even on Friday night. And Jalen Brunson said that when people talk down on the Knicks, he uses it as fuel for fire. And I thought that was cool because I always say on this channel and on the podcast, I don't want old media pushing us and promoting us like we're the best thing since sliced milk. They could stay over there because you know why? Y'all wasn't riding with us. The only person that I give some credit to in that regard would be Kendrick Perkins. Even though he said some things about us, but for the most part, he's been consistent and he's been telling the world about these Knicks and how good these Knicks are. Stephen A., he's a Knicks fan, but at times I feel like he is casual because he wants to protect his heart and soul because he grew up a Knicks fan and they let him down many times, and I could respect that. But at the end of the day, we need the diehard people to step to the forefront and let these people know that we've been riding the whole time, right? We watched Leon Rose take this team from the bottom mediocrity, right? Took them to a 4th seed to the playoffs. Yeah, they lost in the first round, but that's part of the process. Last year, right, we went to the 2nd round, right? And that's part of the process. So this year, oh boy, did we take a step forward. And I'm going to talk more about that. But you know what? Let's jump into research mode, man. I am not playing with these people, all right? And I don't do the ad hominem attacks, you know, putting people down because they credibility and this, that, and the third. Right now, this small narrative I'm not saying it was started by Becky Hammons, but it was definitely pushed by Becky Hammons, and her post honestly went viral. All of the major news covered it. So Becky Hammons is the source of the smoke, right? But we don't mean no disrespect at all, no ad hominem. Salute to Becky Hammons, right? She was a Liberty, right? When the Liberty were in the Garden. But she started this criticism of Jalen Brunson, right? She was the first one to come out and say, hey, he is the guy who is a good player, but he is not the guy that's going to take us over the top, right? So Becky Hammons said, the Knicks don't have that dude. Now, I didn't get a chance to cover it, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you can check out these articles here. The New York Post has it for free. You can check it out. The Knicks don't have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. Now, of course, this was before the OG trades and all of that. But still, this is what she said, and then she didn't amend her statement, so we're going to hold this to the fire, right? You got to ride with your words, right, and eat crow when you're wrong. Kendrick Perkins said that they do have that dude. Salute to Kendrick Perkins, right? And then she says who? He says Jalen Brunson. She says he's too small. If your best player is small, you're not winning. Stephen Curry is the only dude. We're going to get to that Steph Curry in a second. I'm glad she said that. See, what you got to understand is when you're on TV, it's very easy to start saying things that you may or may not mean, and it is hard to fact check that. But we're going to really fact check this Steph Curry stuff, right? So then she doubled down on what she said. I love when they double down, by the way, right? And then she defends the criticism of Jalen Brunson. He's just not a 1A tier player. Now, there's nothing wrong with her opinion. You're entitled to have that opinion, right? But my problem with the opinion is I feel like it's not on a solid ground. This whole size thing is a myth. And I'm going to break down why it's a myth in a second, right? If you feeling the sauce,
don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel.
Definitely subscribe because a lot of you guys watch the channel, but you're not subscribed, right? So she says here, this is a game that the big and bold, it favors that. I love Jalen Brunson, but you're going to have to put him on the level of a 1A. You're putting him with Giannis, Embiid, and Steph. Now, Steph is not big, so I don't know why she put him there, right? Because this is about size. He's too small to be that guy, right? And remember, Steph Curry is the exception, right? While Becky Hammons believes Brunson can't be a top-tier player, Brunson is certainly looking to prove him wrong. He's averaging 25.3. Remember this 25.3 and 5.9 assists. I'm going to tell you why. These are important numbers, right? But I'm going to move forward. So then now, because Becky went on a tear, right, for Jalen Brunson, got all that credit, guess who followed her, right? And I'm gonna switch back. I'm going to be switching back and forth. This lady right here, right? I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but the lady right next to me, see that lady right there, Candace Parker? Salute to Candace Parker, right? No ad hominem attacks. We're going to keep her respectful. Because when I went on Candace Parker, because I didn't get a chance to get on Becky, so that's why I started with Becky. But when I got on Candace Parker, a lot of people were like really being disrespectful. Well, who listens to a WNBA player? I don't really care about who's making the statement. I care about the argument and their perspective more so than the person. So when I say I'm about to get at these dudes, I'm getting at their argument, not the people, right? Because Candace Parker, she's a professional player. You got to respect her. But at the same time, she's capped. And when I say she's capped, I'm talking about what she was saying on national TV, right? Now, we all know this statement. I'm just going to read it real quickly. When the game slows down in the playoffs, remember this? And you get jammed up. We seen Jalen Brunson in the playoffs with the Mavericks. He was the number 2-3 option, played minutes, supplanted Luka Doncic, handled the ball, but as the number 1 option last year in the playoffs. Great first round. Second round, not so much. Now, we know that's cap. It's wrong in many different ways. First off, even when he was in Dallas, right, Luka missed the series. Jalen Brunson was that man, carried him. I believe that was the Utah series when he first became the spider killer, when he put buckets on Donovan Mitchell's heads, right? Salute to Jalen Brunson for being there. That's what led to him getting the bag, right, getting that $100 million contract, right? So that was cap, right? And then the second half of that statement, he played his best basketball against Miami. He was averaging 31 a game, right? And he had 41 in an elimination game. What is she talking about, right? And if you really want to go there, right, because I can go there, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in research mode. I'm sorry, I had that here, but I'm gonna stay out of research mode. But I did a good job articulating that. How many points did Jimmy Butler average in the Knicks series? Who was more efficient and averaged more points in that series between the Heat and the Knicks? Was it Brunson or Jimmy? Jimmy Butler, he averaged 37 points in the first round against the hobbled Giannis. So when we talk about playoff Jimmy, it was just the first round, right? In the second round, right, against the Knicks, he averaged 24.6 points and 7 rebounds. And he did have 6 assists. That's not a bad stat line. But that was his stat line. Jalen Brunson averaged 31 points, 6 assists, 5.5 rebounds, right? Why is this important? Let me get to it. Let me jump back to the research. I'm going to tell you why this is important. Because then she gave a rebuttal after she was capped. She was wrong on both fronts. She doubled down, okay? So when Candace doubled down, right? Listen, I love Knicks fans, and we love you, Candace. No ad hom attacks. We just talking sports, right? You don't watch enough Knicks basketball, so that's why you made a mistake. The issue with Candace is not necessarily her perspective, at least the second point she was trying to make. I don't agree with the second point either, but when you don't take responsibility for your wrongness or how wrong you were in the first comment. So when she doubles down, she says, listen, look, I love Knicks fans. I get it, Parker said Tuesday on a Zoom call for TNT ahead of this weekend's All-Star game. What I was alluding to, right? So hold on, wait. Let's slow it down, right? We're going to slow it down, right? When she made this statement here, remember when the game slows down in the playoffs, the number 1, 2, 3 option with Dallas? Okay, you can see it on the screen now, right? Check this out. What she was alluding to was the fact that in the first round of the playoffs, he was the best player on the court against Donovan Mitchell. Okay? There's a debate there. Some people say Donovan Mitchell is better than Jalen Brunson. I know that Jalen Brunson, I don't have Mitchell's stats in front of me, but Jalen Brunson bowled in the first round too, and it wasn't really an individual thing. That's another thing too. These people seem to forget, don't realize is not really an individual thing, right? As they try to make it out to be. It's a team thing. The Knicks as a team outperformed the Cavs, right? They had no answers for R.J. Barrett, who had a really solid playoffs. They had no answers for Mitch on the inside. Jay Allen and Mobley were looking like scared pups and dogs, right? Remember when Allen said the lights was too? It's a lot of factors going on. But I just want to stick to her premise. This is her premise, right? So people would argue with the whole Donovan Mitchell. I don't think that that's the factor, but let's say he was. He was the best player in the court, right? Okay, cool. In the second round, especially on the defensive end, Miami picked on him a great deal. And Jimmy Butler was, in fact, the best player on the court. Cap. That's why I'm going back to the stats. That's cap. Jimmy Butler was not the best player on the floor. So even in your double down rebuttal, you're still not looking at facts and stats. You're trying to cover your tracks, and I'm going to expose that. I got bars. I used to rap back in the day. A little bit of bars. But Jimmy Butler averaged 24, 7, and 6, which is not a bad stat line. But Jalen Brunson's is way better. He averaged 31, 6.3, and 5.5 rebounds against the Heat. Jimmy did that in 5 games because he missed game 2, right? Remember, and Randall missed game 1 because they both were struggling with ankle injuries, right? So how is Jimmy Butler was the best player on the court? That's cap. Miami was the best team. The reason why Miami won the game, going back to the Cleveland series, the same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks team outperformed the Cavs. Whether Brunson was better than Mitchell didn't really matter. The Knicks as a team was a well-oiled machine that the Cavs were not ready for. When you can fast forward it to this Miami Heat series, the Heat was just, they dominated the offensive glass, which was one of my keys to victory. If you've been watching the channel, and salute to you watching the channel, because we definitely was covering the Knicks last year. I was saying how the Knicks have to dominate the boards. The Knicks were beating up Miami all year in the regular season because the size advantage that the Knicks had was too much with Randall, Mitch, Hartenstein. It was too much for Miami. But in the playoffs, they made adjustments, and Bam started bowling. Bam Adebayo, salute to Bam, right? He definitely put in work, and the Heat just outperformed us. As much as I hate the Heat, and I hate to admit it, they outperformed us, but I give credit to Jimmy and Bam. I like those two guys. I feel like those are dolls. They're like New York Knicks type players, blue-collar, hard work type guys. So anytime I see guys like that, even if they're playing for the ops, I like those guys, right? But Jimmy Butler was not the best on the court. And it's no slight to Jalen Brunson. How is that no slight to Jalen Brunson? By the way, her rebuttal was cap, right? So we got past that. I'm going to get to Steph Curry in a second. Don't worry. Do not worry. Salute to SI, right? And for them writing on this, they were one of the few articles to talk about this. Candace Parker is such an app. Salute to this kid Cynical here, right? On I think this is X, right? He posted these pictures. Right? This is Exhibit A. Let's see if I can get it bigger. Right? Let's see. Look at this. This is All-Star Weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We got her. We got it. Knicks fans, we got her. She says it's no slight to Jalen Brunson, but it's slight to Jalen Brunson. We got her. Why the shirt? After you double down, and you were wrong in your double down, I just proved that. Let me step out of research mode. See that picture right there? See that picture right there? See that? What was that conversation like? Because I know he pointed out that shirt. No word on that conversation. Just remember, you're going to have to back up what you got to say. Okay? So we got Exhibit A. For those of you, okay, let me explain it. Because listen, I had some Pacers guys, some new guys talking about they're beginning to not like the Pacers as if the Pacers weren't a long time op. We got to stop. The Pacers are the ops. We do not rock with the Pacers. I repeat, Knicks fans, we do not rock with the Pacers. Okay. And the reason why we don't rock with the Pacers is because we had a long rivalry with a guy named Reggie Miller, that's the shirt. That's his shirt of him doing the choke signal against us in the playoffs. Back in the 90s. That choke symbol is Reggie Miller against the Knicks. That's a slight towards the Knicks. So look, we're going to move forward, right? Because this video is going to be long. This is a deep dive, right? So now that we see the slight, right? I'm going to beat up on the size thing. First off, the size thing is cap, right? I'm not saying the Knicks are favored to win the championship, but I am going to say this. This Knicks team is eerily similar to the Detroit Pistons team that won the championship back in 2004 under Larry Brown, right? Salute to Larry Brown. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Even though We didn't have no success with Larry Brown coaching the Knicks. He did coach the Knicks. He also coached the Detroit Pistons to a championship. We also covered this on This Week Inside the New York Knicks when he said that the Knicks are similar to that 2014 that won the championship. And this was before the OG trade. But now that the OG trade even happened, it's even more of a good comparison because OG Anunoby is like Tayshaun Prince, the long wing defender, right? Chauncey Billups and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson to me is a more efficient, prolific scorer. The numbers say, forget the points because they weren't scoring the points like that, right? So don't look at the points, right? Look at the efficiency. So Chauncey Billups shot 39% from the field and on 38% from downtown, right? Jalen Brunson is shooting 41% from three and 48% from the field. He's way more efficient than Chauncey, right? Forget the points. They didn't score that many points back then, right? You got Mitch Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. They could give you the Ben Wallace effect. Not that they're as great as Ben Wallace, because Ben Wallace was the Defensive Player of the Year, but Ben Wallace was also giving you, 12 rebounds? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong team. Let me get back to the Pistons. Ben Wallace was giving you 12 rebounds a game. Between those two, they could give you more than 12 rebounds a game. And Mitch can give you like 10, 11 by himself. Let's see, Mitch was averaging 10 himself. Then Isaiah's went up to 8.7. And then don't forget Precious Achiuwa. So the Knicks definitely have guys on the defensive end. And then when you also want to look at Rasheed Wallace, right? Forget the points, right? I don't care about points because they weren't scoring as much as they did now. But let's look at the field goal efficiency. So when you look at the field goal efficiency, Rasheed Wallace shot 43% from the field. When you pull up Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle is shooting, I'll tell you right now, Julius Randle is shooting 47% from the field. So it's very eerily similar. Chauncey Billups was 6'2". And remember, Chauncey Billups was 6'2" before the new height change, where everybody lost an inch. So according to the old rules, they got Jalen Brunson here listed as 6'2". He honestly would be 6'3" back then. They changed how they measure height. So Jalen Brunson's 6'2" right now. So Steph Curry was the exception, right? Oh, you thought I forgot about Steph. You thought I forgot about Steph? This is a very long video. I'm going to try to cut it down as much as I can. Or I could do a part 2. But I'm going to get this Steph Curry part out the way. So Steph Curry is 6'2", smaller than Brunson. Brunson outweighs Steph by 5 pounds there. He's 185. So Brunson got a little bit more size to him. They both 6'2". And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that Jalen Brunson is on the level of Steph Curry. Don't get that twisted. Steph Curry is the best shooter in NBA history. That's not my point. My point is where they are in their careers, they are comparable. You can compare Stephen Curry today, right? His production today, I'm not saying all-time career, he's better than Jalen Brunson. But this year, Steph is giving you 28 points on 46% from the field with 42% from three. Great numbers, right? Is it great numbers for Steph? No, we've seen Steph have better years. Let's go to Jalen Brunson numbers right now. So Jalen Brunson right now is giving you 27.2 points off that 28, right? He's shooting at a better percentage from field goal at 48% from the field. Of course, Steph is the best three-point shooter, but it's comparable, 41% to Steph's 42%. 42%. That's pretty much the same, right? And Steph's probably taking way more threes. Look at win shares, right? 5.2 for Steph, 7.3 for Brunson. Now, of course, the Knicks have more wins than the Warriors, which says a lot. But I'm not trying to knock Steph. I'm really trying to boost Jalen, right? This is not a Steph knock. But they said that Steph was the anomaly. So I'm going to go to the 2002 Warriors. This is a deep dive. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to it, right? So in 2022, the Warriors won 53 games. They were third in the West, and they won the championship that year. And they wound up beating the Dallas Mavericks, which is Jalen Brunson's Dallas Mavericks, in the Western Conference Finals, the year when Jalen Brunson made his name, and that led to him getting the bag with the Knicks. Now, when you go to this team, you're going to notice something interesting here. Stephen Curry, right? I got him highlighted in the yellow. He averaged 25 a game that year. This is the championship year, right? He averaged 43% from the field and 38% 8% from three. Jalen Brunson's numbers this year is better than Steph Curry's that year when they won the championship. Round of applause for JB. What is the difference between Steph and Jalen Brunson besides experience? But right now on the floor, I'm saying right now on the floor, matchup to matchup, what's the difference between the two besides the experience, right? And I'm going to get to some more on Jalen Brunson in a second with the experience, right? You know what? I'm going to make a part 2 to this video. I've given you a lot of sauce. I got a part 2 coming. I'm going to divide this video up into 2 parts, right? Because I'm really cooking right now. In the playoffs, Steph averaged 27 a game, right? His three-point shooting still wasn't 40%, but close to 40%. And his field goals was 45%. So he did take his game to another level. Are you trying to tell me that Jalen Brunson couldn't get 27 points in the playoffs, shooting 46% from the field and all 40% threes? You don't think he could do that? No? It's okay if you don't think so. I'm just going to pull up his playoffs from last year. Last year in the playoffs, he did that. He had 27.8 points a game, right? Let me scroll up so you can see it. And then he only shot 32% from three, but he did shoot 47% from the field. Remember, Jalen Brunson is not a three-point sniper. He gets a lot of his buckets in the mid-range. He's number 2 behind Shai for that. So I'm not saying Jalen Brunson is better than Steph, right? Don't get that twisted. I can't do it. I won't do it. Not going to play myself. But I'm going to drop more on this. There'll be a part 2 to this video. I'm a cook, indeed. But I just want to show you some of these facts. And I'm going to continue breaking down why that's cap. As you can see, I already dismissed the size. I got more points with the size, okay? I got more stuff. So definitely stay tuned. Thanks for rocking with me. Listen, you the MVP.
Don't forget to like this video.
Don't forget to
and
like and
also
subscribe
to my channel.
Definitely check out the objectivefan.com. I got the sports club. Get exclusive access to content in a special Discord server. I go in, family. If you want more Objective Fan, especially unfiltered, you want to see me outside of the YouTube streets, you want to have conversations with me, definitely hit that link, theobjectivefan.com. Sign up right now. This was a great episode, man. I'm going to do part 2 because this is fire. And hopefully you guys like it. So until next time, let's go. Yeah.